Iron Fist gonna move across. That's very, very interesting. Actually makes it quite close. But we do win the tiebreaker there. Just about. Hello everyone, I'm back with another video for you today, and I have a very awesome deck. Arguably my magnum opus, the finest deck I've ever created. I climbed to infinite rank very quickly. Well, I did grind for many hours for a couple of days, but all things considered, a fairly quick infinite grind with this deck. It was able to counter a lot of the decks that are very popular in the meta, things like Shuri decks, for example, which I was able to just Shang-Chi them and mess them up in all sorts of ways. Killmonger's also been a great card for me at countering Thanos. So this is a deck I featured on the Meta Snapshot. If you haven't seen that video, check that one out. That's a great way to see some of the decks in the meta at the moment, and where this deck fits in and how it is an anti-meta deck. But with that being said, let's jump into the cards that I have and then we can get into the gameplay. So first, we have Iron Fist. This is a really awesome card to use in general. I quite like Iron Fist. Obviously, you kind of want to play other cards with it, like Vulture, which we do have in the deck, to get that proper value from that one drop. But I quite like it just to sneakily move things across into locations that you're locked out of and surprise the opponent with that movement that the opponent often, you know, does not consider when making their plays. So I really like Iron Fist in this deck. It's really pretty powerful. We have Swarm as well. And we have Colleen Wing, so these cards work in conjunction together. You're able to discard Swarm. It can be a little bit clunky sometimes. You aren't usually going to play Colleen on turn 2 because you have Iron Fist in the deck, which is a card you don't want to play on turn 1 usually. So quite often that Colleen, if you're not super lucky and don't get Swarm Colleen on turn 2, you might play it on turn 3 or 4 or 5. You might play it at the same time as playing a Lizard or as playing an Iron Fist. You might play it on the same turn as a Maximus on turn 5 or something like that. So Colleen is, think of it like a very high value card here, a 10 for 2, but it's a 10 for 2 that you generally won't play early on in the game. You'll play it midway through the game. You have to sort of figure out a bit whether or not you want to just play the Swarm from hand or whether you want to, you know, try for that Colleen combo. So I really like Colleen. I think it's very powerful. It works very well, the Colleen Swarm, with some of the other stuff we have in the deck. Sorry, by the way, if my voice sounds a bit bad or like my energy is off today. I'm a little bit ill. I have a sore throat, so apologies for that, by the way. Anyway, the next card we have is Lizard. This is another good 2-drop. This is your standard turn 2 play if you find it on turn 2. It's very nice to get you ahead in the game early on, and it synergizes very well with our later game plays because we can move things around and disrupt the opponent and stop them from actually getting 4 units in the Lizard location. Next we have Cosmo. This card is very effective at shutting down certain things in the meta. You might want to snipe the opponent's Shuri with it. You can snipe Mr. Negative on that turn 4 if you have priority, which you often do through having Lizard on the board, or potentially a 3-drop that you've played on turn 3. So Cosmo's nice against those things. It's also great late game against certain decks. Mr. Negative, again, will often want to play a lot of on-reveals at the end of the game, so Cosmo can be really good to beat some of that stuff. And, you know, Silver Surfer, whatever, if that's still a thing, those kind of decks. Killmonger we've got in there. Oh, I should say you have to be a little bit careful with Cosmo because you are playing cards that have on-reveals, so make sure if you play that Cosmo, it's either at the end of the game or in a location that you're already for sure going to be winning. It's generally where I'll play it. If you know you've got a location that you're like very focused on winning, then you can play Cosmo there, because you will want to Aero a different place, for example. Anyway, next we've got Killmonger. This is good against all the 1-drops. Try to play it after your Iron Fist if possible. You know, Killmonger on turn 3 can be a great play if people are playing Sunspot turn 1, or maybe they're playing 0 plus Titania or something. You could just Killmonger them on turn 3. Otherwise, you can try to save it for surprise value against Thanos or against Zoo decks for the end of the game. Next we have Vulture, which works with the Iron Fist. Pretty self-explanatory. I won't usually play Vulture unless I have the Iron Fist in hand and vice versa. Trying to save those two for this nice little combo, and same thing with Colleen Swarm. In reality, Vulture Iron Fist ends up being your turn 4 play most of the time, if you have it. Otherwise, you could go with a different 3-drop plus Iron Fist on turn 4, usually, or 2 2-drops on turn 4. We have Polaris as well, which works very well with our other stuff. We're able to move things around again for that Lizard. It's great with Miles Morales, which we have in the deck, which we'll get to. And yeah, just a pretty solid 3-drop. Has some tech value, can sometimes disrupt what the opponent's doing. I really like Polaris in this deck. You could swap it out for Juggernaut if you don't have Polaris. Juggernaut is also quite good, but it's a little less reliable, less consistent than Polaris, so be warned if you do try it. Next we have Maximus. I can't really play games of Marvel Snap without Maximus. It's such a good card. Dropping it early game, of course, for priority in the game to be ahead on, you know, for your Cosmo and stuff, or playing it later game just for that big point swing without too much of a downside. So Maximus really, really key, really important in this deck. Next we have Shang-Chi. I should say you can play Mr. Fantastic if you want instead of Maximus. It'll be a bit weaker. We have Shang-Chi in the 4-cost. This is really good against the Shuris of the world, the tool decks. We're going to use that turn 4 to, well, usually turn 5 or 6, I should say. You know, alongside our Swarm, Iron Fist, whatever it might be, for some really explosive power. We might play it with Miles Morales, which is the next card. So we want to move something on turn 4, 5, 6, and then play that Miles Morales. A common play you can do with Miles Morales is play Polaris on turn 3, and then on turn 4 you can go for like a Maximus plus Miles, or a Killmonger plus Miles. Killmonger will not kill Miles Morales, even if he costed 1 when you played him. He's always a 4-cost card, so very safe with the Killmonger, and very powerful with Aero on turn 6. You can go Miles plus Aero, moving the opponent into the location that they're already winning, playing Miles Morales to win a different location. It's just super powerful. You even have Swarm then sometimes as well for, yeah, just casual 11 points plus Aero at the end of the game. Yeah, pretty balanced, I guess. Aero is our last card, of course. We have movement synergy there again for the Miles, sometimes Aero on turn 5. Miles Morales plus a bunch of other powerful cards on turn 6 is a possible line of play that you can take. So yeah, been loving this deck, very decent. The surprise value is especially strong, so now that the deck's known, it might not be quite as good for climbing to infinite rank, so be aware of that, but it is a very good deck in its own right, and you can deal with a lot of powerful decks with it. So that being said, let's play some games. First game here. Wakandan Embassy going to be the first location. It's all good. We've got Lizard as a nice turn 2 option for us here. Perhaps in the sewer system, it works well with the Lizard because, of course, they don't want to play very many units unless they have a Luke Cage. Okay, well, never mind then. So Luke Cage means they're most likely playing Hazmat. Perhaps a Wong as well. I have Cosmo to deal with Wong, so that's cool. I'll probably just go Maximus on turn 3 here, I think. I don't really care about drawing them cards, I just want to get some power on the board. Get ahead of the opponent. Gonna be a green goblin, that's pretty decent for them, I guess. Although the Wakandan Embassy has made that not so good, which is nice. Where do we want to play our cards now? I might just do a Polaris, set up the Miles Morales. Killmonger doesn't really do a whole lot yet, and it might be very good later. So let's go ahead and Polaris now. We can make it so the Lizard is less likely to be, you know, to lose his value. Gonna be the Hood and a Viper. Okay, so Killmonger can deny that. That's really nice. And then we'll probably end the game with... Oh, this is just so good for me. I'm gonna go with the Snap here. I'll maybe wait a second just to give the opponent false, you know, feeling of security. I could also just go with the Colleen Spider-Man now. I think that might be the play, and then save our Killmonger Cosmo for the very end of the game. The only issue with that is we may struggle with board space slightly, but we're going to have that Swarm at the end, which is surely going to be worth a couple of points as well. So we're going to want a Cosmo probably anyway for the final play. I think I'll go Miles here, Colleen here, or do we want to play into the middle location perhaps? I think I'd probably give up the middle location quite often here. And we'll just go Killmonger, Cosmo, maybe we should play mid. I'm just scared of like a Hobgoblin or something really hurting me. I'm gonna snap. Gonna get the snap off because the Killmonger onto Titania is just so damn good. The downside here is I'm not really going to be able to play more cards in the left, but I'm hoping that Maximus, Colleen should be enough to win it. To be fair, the Swarm is not even going to really come into play here, is it? Unless they play a Shang. Okay, well now we're in a bit of a sticky situation, in fairness. Could also go with the Aero, but I think just Killmongering makes sense, especially with that demon. Yeah, it's got to be good, right? The only problem is I don't have initiative anymore, but that's actually a benefit in some ways because we can get our you know, our swarm will work here. So we can just make a play like this. We're immune to Hobgoblin. We can destroy all these pesky ones on our board. I think we should be winning this game. They might go with, yeah, okay, just going to be Typhoid. And a Hazmat. Okay. Not too troubling. I think we've got this one in the bag. Just about. It's quite close, actually, with that Typhoid Mary play, but yeah, we do have it. Very nice. So, yeah, a little closer comfort, perhaps. If that Hazmat had gone right, could have been bad. I maybe missequenced there a little bit because I didn't have prio for the Cosmo, so it was a bit weird, but let's go to the next. Alright, what are we looking at here? X Mansion is interesting. We could play Cosmo there. I'm not going to go with Colleen. I don't really see a need to. I like just saving it for the Swarm. Even if it means you skip your first couple of turns, I don't think the first 2 turns are really all that important most of the time. Lizard would have been nice, but what can you do? Let's just go with a Polaris here into X Mansion, make it so the Lizard can potentially be dealt with. They're going to play Polaris as well. I wonder if they're running the same deck as us, actually. Might be a mirror match. Or just a coincidence. You never know. We're going to pull a Swarm out, they're going to pull a Nova, okay. The Nova's a bit weird for my Killmonger. We have Vulture. I'll probably play like this. Get some strength in the middle now. Nice turn 4 with the Iron Fist Vulture. Not snapping. I don't really like to snap until the later stages with this deck. I like to snap towards the end when you have a nice Shang or Aero lined up. Or even Killmonger, which, you know, we may very well be doing in a second here. Looks really nice after they played all those 1-drops. I think I'll go ahead and snap as well. So this is looking like Shuri. And the question is, yeah, I think we do go with Killmonger to then Aero them at the end. I'll just play probably in all locations. I'll play perhaps a Lizard here and a Killmonger here. I think should be good. Just want to try to be ahead in 2 locations for that Aero at the end. The Killmonger might scare them off a bit. Oh, they're actually going to pull everything out here with Dr. Octopus. Okay, interesting. It's not too bad for me, all things considered. I've got the Killmonger out. And now we will be ahead on all locations, so gonna be a bit of a challenge for them to overcome us. Also depending on what we draw. I will of course play Maximus mid to play around Dr. Doom, which is basically the only card we're afraid of right now. And we will beat it with a Maximus. So in fact, is Dr. Doom even scary? Not really. Perhaps I should rethink this. Nah, I think on average this is still the best play. They're gonna retreat, so we don't have to worry. Get a nice little win there. Okay, we're gonna be drawing a card with another Roma. Killmonger in hand, pass that turn 1, and play Lizard of course, or we might even, yeah, we're going to want to skip this I think. Although I suppose Killmonger was an option there. Lizard into Killmonger would have been quite interesting, but I'll just keep that Killmonger available I think. Play Polaris now. Spider-Man, that gives us some options. Opponent's playing Electro, this might be a Galactus game. It's kind of what I immediately imagine when I see that card. So to be honest, playing Spider-Man here seems pretty fine. We can just simply Cosmo into the Galactus if they go for that. That being said, we won't have initiative. We're just always going to Aero them anyway, right? So never mind, my thought process is a bit weird. Perhaps just these cards. Just keep it simple and easy. I'll play cards here. We want to make sure Dr. Doom doesn't get us. Now we're going to play something in the right. Oh, Dr. Octopus. Okay, that makes sense. They want to deny Aero.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
That's a bit of a problem for me, isn't it? Of course they can play Galactus now. I can't really do much about that. I have to basically hope they didn't draw Galactus at this point. With the Maximus mid. Okay, it's just Destroyer. That's not too bad for us. I will play Aero now. Probably. Dr. Doom will beat us or lose to us? I think it will lose to us, right? 14 versus 20. Yeah, we'll have a better tiebreaker, so we should be winning here. So Galactus would have got me there. I would have had to retreat versus a snap from the opponent. They're actually snapping me. Oh, I guess they can have Knoll and stuff, but I think we beat Knoll. They can have Death. The Aero should just stop that stuff. We'll see what they've got. I guess maybe Death plus Dr. Doom could be it. Shang-Chi, yeah, that's not going to cut it. Power of Aero. sealing the deal, winning games. Okay, here we go. Andaval. I play against Andaval quite a lot. Up at the infinite ranks. Big house. Okay, that's kind of good for us sometimes. It means we can't Aero there. Something to consider for sure. It's always a tricky decision on whether to play Swarm or not in this sort of a spot. I think in this case I won't go for that. And we get rewarded with the Colleen. I'm gonna play Colleen in the vault, I think. Zabu and Lizards. This is probably Shuri with Zabu, I would guess. Some people have been playing that. You can go Zabu, Shuri, Typhoid Mary. Decent line of play. I think I'll go Polaris now. It's always tempting to do it in the Bar Sinister, really, isn't it? But it's very tempting. Then you kind of just gift them the win in Bar Sinister if they want it. It will prevent us playing Shang-Chi and stuff. So I think I'll just Polaris mid. Get the move. Actually gonna Hood. Huh. Hood plus what? Carnage? Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I mean, they have a ton of demons now, so that's a bit spooky. Also have a very big Carnage, I guess. A 10-point Carnage. We might be moving here into the big house. That would not be great for me. Moving Lizard, okay. Gosh, this is very interesting. So I don't think I want initiative here. I want them to be winning the game. So as long as we stay tied mid, I think we should be in a good spot. Let's go ahead and play Miles Morales now, of course. We're probably going to finish the game with Killmonger, right? So either playing Vulture or Cosmo, it shouldn't really matter which we do. Man's Carnage is quite nasty. I'll just do this, I think. Keep it chill. If they go demons here, we should be fine in that location at least. Okay, so now we're just entering the big house with our Killmonger and our Swarms, maybe with a different card. Maximus, perfect. And we even can win the Bar Sinister if they don't play a card there, or if they play a 1-drop. I'm feeling pretty confident that we win this. We get 12 extra points over there, so they would need an insane amount of bishop value to win, and we can kill the last demon that they have with Killmonger. Provided there's no Cosmo mid, should be in a good spot here. Sarah deck without the Sarah. I'm gonna play demon in the right, that's fine. Mysterio is fine. And Enchantress, yeah, it's a pretty free win for us, all things considered. So that was a miracle Sarah deck kind of thing. And we should be winning. Very good. Even Swarm in the right lane winning that. Swarm, Colleen Swarm is just so busted, man. It's just so busted when you have that. GG. So going to be the rock location, that's interesting, the hood. Means they have a demon, that means our Killmonger is sort of decent. And there he is. I'll just skip my turn here, I could play Swarm, but keep our options open I think. Skip the turn too. To be honest, Swarm play here is perfectly acceptable. Gonna be killed, okay. I kind of feel like I want a Polaris here to then get Miles Morales Maximus in case we need points in the kill. I'm just going to play that Killmonger now. Okay, that's a bit annoying. It means we won't get our Miles. Miles is not available here. You gotta wonder what they're going to play. Probably a Death Wavy deck. So what will they play on turn 4? Well, probably worth Cosmoing in case they want to do Bucky Barnes or something. Yeah, I think I like this. They're playing just Mysterio by the looks of it. Okay, no worries. Carnage. Right, makes sense. So you're winning the kill right now, which is good. That's very good, even if the Mysterio is in the right, which it probably is. The question is now, where do we want to go? We probably want to play just Iron Fist Colleen, honestly. But yep, this should be fine. Very strong Swarm at the end, and then potentially combined with Maximus. With Aero, if we draw Aero. I'll snap. We've also got the potential of Shang-Chi. Lots of really good things coming our way. They might actually wave us though. Actually, I probably shouldn't snap against wave. I'm a bit risky these days with my snaps, man. When you're climbing up to infinite, you don't do stuff like that. But okay, gonna be a win. Apparently no wave for them, I suppose. Let's play one more game. We're against TLSG. Another YouTuber. That's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Breaking news.
Let's see what we can do. We have the Vulture Iron Fist, so we can do Iron Fist turn 2. I haven't really been able to do that in these games, but that is a common play that we want to make. And to be honest, putting them into the Bar Sinister is a pretty cheeky play. I'm not sure we want to do it. Probably we will, though. For now, I'll put Iron Fist in the unknown location, I think. We can Vulture moving one of them out, but copying the rest. Oh, discard. Gonna be Colleen gone. Okay. Let's move that Vulture across. It's a good play. Gives us a lot of strength there, while also giving us strength in the left. Really powerful, actually. And we can always play a Cosmo or something. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, we actually don't have space anymore. I forget it does that. But I think this is worth it. Now they have to play a really big card to actually win that location. So, Miles Maximus or Miles Polaris seems very decent here. Maybe like this. I can save the Maximus for a bit more strength later and not draw them cards, I think. Drawing them cards might not be too good for us. Oh, they're gonna do the same play, no way. They're actually running the same deck as us, that's quite funny. Perhaps not the exact same. I know a lot of people are now caught onto the Vulture. So I feel like an Aero play now could be quite good. Like, we're kind of winning the tiebreakers currently. And then we have a really nice finisher, so I'm gonna go ahead and snap. The Aero, depending on what they play, might also stop them playing more cards in the right. It's probably just going to come down to tiebreaker this game, and currently we have a 5-point, maybe even a 7-point, yeah, in fact. We have a 7-point tiebreaker advantage because of this lizard, because we played Miles and such. The only downside is they're going to be able to play their own Miles. The hope now is just we already win this location, perhaps. Yep. Winning that location, beautiful. And I can now just go ahead and play my biggest strength play at the end here, which is probably Maximus plus Polaris, I think. I guess maybe not Polaris. It's probably Maximus Lizard. Don't think they'll be able to... Yeah, they're playing our deck, so they shouldn't be able to get too many more units here unless they Colleen... Nah, they've already played Lizard and Iron Fist, there's no way. It's just our best play, I think. Iron Fist gonna move across. That's very, very interesting. Actually makes it quite close. But we do win the tiebreaker there. Just about. Interesting little mirror match. And it seems the deck is catching on a little bit. Very nice. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, maybe check out one of the other videos on the screen. Got lots of spicy content, meta snapshots, all sorts of great stuff for you to check out if you haven't already. Subscribe as always, and I'll see you next time.